Okay, it seems like the stream of people coming in has slowed down, so we can get started here in just a second. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, can you guys see my next-gen application launcher?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Jamie, quick question. Is this call going to be recorded? Oh, it already is. Never mind.
It already is. Yep, it'll be recorded, and you can request the recording from the next-gen project manager that's working, excuse me, working with your clinic.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. I am taking attendance. I see that we have one person it looked like that had called in. Whoever is in on a telephone, can you go into the Q&A section of the call here and just put your name and your clinic in there for me? That would be much appreciated. And we're going to go ahead and get started here. So my name is Jamie Higginbotham, and I am an applications advisor here at NextGen. And I'm going to be going over the latest enhancements from NG8 MR3 and NG 8.3.1. And let me see, I'll show you an agenda here real quick. Sorry about that. So this is just our agenda for the day. There's some, a lot of it is some UI refresh phase 1. We're going to go over appointment level insurance, estimate patient cost, and so on and so forth. And then at the very end, I will have another slide to show you with some additional enhancements that we don't really have covered in the slides just yet. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the first thing I want to bring to your attention is actually in the application launcher here. Upon launch, you'll notice that the screen is wider and that we have updated the color scheme. The background color is now white and the screen title bar color is light blue. The title in the top left-hand corner has been updated to application launcher. And the icons for BBP, so BBP, document management, and EHR were updated as well. And we have also added a create shortcuts and menu items button at the bottom. And let's go to system administrator here. And just note that we've got some changes to the login screen here as well. You'll notice that there is no more black background. Login verbiage was added in the upper left and the screen is wider. And you'll also notice the database and reference information in the top right. So that'd be up here. Let me log into system admin real quick. Okay, so what you're going to notice once we are into system administrator here is, again, a wider screen. There's reduced field congestion by rearranging fields as needed for ease of use, as well as updated colors and fonts. So let me click on our default practice here, kind of show you a little bit about the redesign here. Let's see here. Get in here and pardon me. One of the perks from working from home is you get to be home with your animals, but the other perks is the mailman goes by and causes a problem. So I apologize for that. Let's see. Hey. Okay. So I am in our administrator tab here. And what I'm wanting to show you is that we do have the updated font and colors. The tabs are blue, the section headers are light blue, and you have sub tabs down here. Lucas. Sorry. And the sub tabs are like a teal down at the bottom. The font size for the tabs and section headers is 10.5 point and 8 point for the font for the fields and labels. The style is Microsoft Sans Serif, and the bolded text is Nu Tai Lu. And we have also reduced the field congestion. Okay. So we're going to move on to single sign-on role management in System Administrator. We're going to do that by clicking on View and click SSO Role Management. And you will see that we have a more modern look and feel that is consistent with the other screen changes that I've shown so far. The color changes and font sizes are the same. The headers match the blue to the other UI screens, and tabs turn dark blue when making a selection. So for an example, service accounts, those things start to turn blue, and then admin started to turn blue. Okay, that should be it for system admin for right now. So I want to open up document management. Okay. In here, you can also see that the color scheme is following suit, and you will also notice two new icons in this window. We have I'm sorry, let me go to batches first. I got ahead of myself there. We'll go to batches here, and now you'll be able to see, again, the color scheme is following suit, and we do have two new icons in this window. We have the lock icon here, as well as an open folder, which we have down here. And you will also notice that the show batches secured to me and show batches created by me have been moved to the top section of the window. That would be up here. And we have also added grid lines to make it easier to see what row your information is on. So let me double click on this. You'll also notice here that this is a new window, and it has a white background, and the colors of the header buttons have changed to be consistent. Okay, so we're going to move on to scan and file. Let's see here. All right, what I am looking for is this. Nope, didn't want that. Okay, so now you can see the document type box is opened up. The document type field is the only static part. Let me go back to that. Hang on just a minute. Sorry about that. Okay. I didn't get the other box to pop up. Anyway, what's supposed to happen is the document type field I wanted to show you is the only static part of that box that should have popped up here. And being that that is the only static part of the field, it's hard to enhance that document or that box to match the rest of the items that you've been shown already. So each document that is available for selection has options that populate that differ from each other. So we've added gray shading to that box and darken the lines around the field boxes to better define those areas. Sorry, I don't have a good example of that right now. The box didn't open up for me. Okay, now we're going to go over the UI refresh that was in practice management. Okay, so let's first take a look at statement options. We're going to get there by going to File, pardon me, Print Forms and Statements. And for starters, I'd like for you to notice that the section headers are more clearly defined and are broken into headers and subheaders. We also have continued with the white background, blue buttons, and light blue headings. We have also changed the icon. The Enterprise and Practice tabs, let's go into those. So there's Enterprise, there's Practice. Have the yellow folder moved up to the header. So if you click on this, you do get a subscreen. The subscreens have remained the same as they were out of scope for this round of enhancements. The location and provider tabs, okay, both of those are pretty similar. They have had the yellow folder moved to the header, and also they used to have a yellow sticky note, and that has been replaced by the purple info button here. So if you hover over that, that gives you some information. Again, the subscreens are the same. They were out of scope again for the this round of enhancements. All right, so we are going to look at Work Log Manager now. And that is here. The first thing to notice is that the icon has changed. So it now looks like those two little dots with check marks. This change is only for the practice level Work Log Manager. The header color has been retained as well as legacy minimize. Those are over here. Let me do that. So you have your legacy minimize, maximize, and close buttons. The buttons colors have changed and been updated to the blue color as well. One thing to note about the general tab is the field order has been rearranged. So if you're used to tabbing through, you will want to be careful with that. And then here in the advanced tab, just wanted to show that that has been widened. And then let me see here. Okay, typically when you get some things to populate into this field, we have added grid lines again to make it easier to see your information all the way across the page. And then lastly, for the Work Log Manager screen at the enterprise level, the icon did not change, but we added the practice name to the header and the blue buttons again. Okay, so now we're going to go to the appointment book. And we're going to talk about appointment level insurance. Okay, so we've got the appointment book opened up, and let's see, I'm going to select this patient here, and we're going to go to the insurance tab over here, and what you're used to seeing is the patient's chart level insurance here. This field has been repurposed for appointment level insurance. This is a big one to pay attention to. So the enhancement was brought about at the request of multi-specialties and FQHCs. But the big takeaway here is that this no longer has your chart level insurance. It will be appointment based. So what has happened here in this situation is when this appointment was made for this client, there was no insurance attached to this appointment. So there's nothing here at the moment and will have to be added later. So only insurance is attached to the appointment will display here. You can click on the Norton button to add the insurance. So you just click new insurance, and then you can add whichever insurance you need to, and then that will be your appointment level insurance. There's also a self-pay button if the client or the patient is self-pay. And as I was saying, if you click on the Norton button to add the insurance, it will pull up what is on the chart level, and then it gets pulled into the appointment level. So as I was showing you, if we wanted to add the new insurance, basically you just select which one you want. We'll go with this one, move it over, click OK, and now it's populated at the insurance appointment level. Please note that eligibility verification launched from an appointment will pull appointment level insurance if attached. If no appointment level insurance is attached, the chart level will be available for selection. Okay, let's talk about appointment lookup enhancements. So let's go to the, let's navigate to the app list. Let me close this. All right, so the first enhancement is that the appointment lookup screen now has a primary appointment payer dropdown for filtering. Okay, and it works like this. Let's see, I'm going to select Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we're going to hit find down here at the bottom. And this will display the payers for Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, so the next enhancement for this part involves going to the reports. We want to find scheduling and appointment listings. Okay, the enhancement here is that we have added 21 new appointment insurance data elements to the columns setting, which is this. Okay, there's 21 new things added to here, as well as your filter 2. Okay. Want to specifically note that primary, secondary, and tertiary appointment payer have been added to the appointment list, and those should be down closer to the bottom. So here's primary appointment, secondary, and tertiary. The last enhancement for this section that I want to touch on has to do with data repositories. So we're going to want to go to file maintenance for that. Okay, system PM. We want to go to forms enhanced. Okay, So just for example, I'm going to double click on this appeals letter. Let's see. I want to find appointment information. All right. So from here, I want to find, oh, I didn't see it. No, just a second here. There we are. Okay. So what we are wanting to show you here is you will find, again, the primary, secondary, and tertiary payers, and you can pull in data repository for forms enhanced, and letters to accommodate that appointment level insurance. All right, so that is that for file maintenance. I'm going to go back into PM, and we're going to talk about estimating patient costs. So to do this, we are going to go to admin, preferences, practice, and then pre-services. And here you can search for the allowed amount by contract, by transaction history, or by both. So you have those selections here. You can also tell it to how you want to search first by, whether by contract then transaction, or transaction history then contract. And you also have a transaction history date. And you also have allowed amount. So average of all allowed amounts, latest allowed amount, and you can also exclude $0 allowed amounts from transaction history. You can also search for coinsurance by clicking on the coinsurance tab. So that is this here. You can search by coinsurance source. You also have a choice for the order of operations, and you can also search by the transaction date range. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the EPC tool, or the cost estimation tool. I want to show you how you can create, search, and retrieve estimates from using the cost estimate ID field. Let's see. Probably shouldn't have closed that just yet. Hang on just a second. Let me pull that back up. Okay. I'll scratch that. I didn't need that. Let's go back to the appointment book. My apologies. Okay. Have an appointment right here, and we're going to right click on that appointment, and we're going to go to estimate patient cost. So that pulls up this window. And here's where you will find the cost estimate ID field. If the patient is having a visit that is the same as a previous one, you can start by searching for the code for that code number in this field. That would be here. Let's see. When you click on the desired code, the service items will populate. So let me just, we'll just pop that in, and you can see that these things have populated. From there, you can see and select copays, deductibles, and end up seeing the estimated cost. You can choose to send this estimate to the patient portal. So that would be here, or if they're in front of you, you can go ahead and click the print button. You can also document payment here as well. let's say that we've just selected the patient's name from the appointment chart, but we know the cost estimate ID that we want to get an estimate for, but not the patient name. I'm sorry, we selected the patient's name from the appointment chart, but we know the cost estimate ID that we want to get an estimate for. The next thing you'll want to do is clear out your patient like that. Or you can open the EPC tool from the toolbar. That is the tool icon is the far right end of the toolbar. So that would be this up here in the top right. You can simply start typing the cost estimate ID. That was kind of like what I did a minute ago. And then what you can see here now, since there is no patient name or anything, you're seeing all the different patients with, the start of that cost estimate ID there. So you can scroll through and find what you were looking for. So we'll just select that one. If you, one note is if you modify an existing estimation, a new cost estimate ID is made. Okay. So staying in the tool here, I want to show you that you can navigate to the patient account, patient chart, and patient balance from this window. All you have to do is click the Norton button in the top left corner of the window. That will give you the option to go to any of the three places. So you can choose to go to their account. Okay. Get that out of there. You can also choose to go to their chart and patient balance and not lose this screen. Another thing that I would like to point out is the eligibility results hyperlink. That is right here. This is for NG eligibility clients only, formerly RTS. This is just an approximation of what these forms would look like. Let me see if I click on that. So it's an approximation of what these forms would look like. And we don't have any real connectivity for this because this is our test environment. So this is just, like I said, just an example. Next to that hyperlink is another one for insurance maintenance. That's right here. This is for, that is another place that you can navigate so you can review copay, deductible, or other policy information for your patient. Okay, now I want to talk SIM from a SIM group. So if I wanted to add a SIM from a SIM group, I would click on this blue question mark here. So this will open up a new window, and you can search by the SIM code or SIM description in this window here. So you just choose which you want to use. Highlight the code and click OK, and then it will be added. So just simply like that to search for it. Click that, and now it has been added to your service items. Our practice reference is set up and is pulling in the columns that you see in the service items section, such as your copay, deductible, etc. You can also make any notes about this estimation in the estimation notes, and that would be this section here. You can add a diagnosis code by using the ICD-CM section of the tool. That's in here. That would be simply by clicking in here, and again, you can search, and then if you find your code, it's kind of like how I did earlier. You select it, and then click over to the right, and then click OK. And you can also reorder the hierarchy of any codes that you have in here just simply by selecting on them and clicking them up or down. Okay. Now let's take a look at the estimated cost portion of the tool here. Here you can see how the estimate was calculated. under the patient agrees to pay section, you have some radial buttons. Okay, you can select any of those depending on what the patient can afford. This section allows the user to view the estimate ID and the selected payment amount in the payment entry screen. Once the payment is made, the actual paid amount will be viewed in the cost estimation screen. Payment entry will display the patient paid amount from the cost estimation screen, the cost estimate ID, and the applied amount of payment is in cost estimation screen. Okay, so now we're going to go back to close that. Get our launcher back open, and we're going to go back to file maintenance. Should have stayed logged in. Okay, let's see. No, hang on, the wrong one. Forms enhanced. Okay, so what we're looking at here is we went to file maintenance, and we went to forms enhanced for pre-service data repository fields. We now have a default cost estimation form group, and this will optimize printing costs of estimation forms from the cost estimation print workflows. We limit from categories available for sending to patient portal. There are new data fields for all cost estimation. Charge information is now available, up to 12 diagnosis codes and descriptions. We have estimate ID, encounter and appointment dates, copay deductible, and coinsurance amounts, and allowed amounts. And these are available for use in enhanced forms and labels. And this information gets pulled into your document. Okay, we'll minimize that. We're going to talk about enterprise scheduling. You can get there by this little guy with the construction hat and the gear wheel. Okay, you can now view available time slots in various practices that you have access to using enterprise scheduling without logging in and out of multiple practices. You can get there one of two ways. First, I just showed you the guy with the hard hat and the gear wheel, or you can go to admin, scheduling admin, and enterprise. Enterprise class mapping. So let's see here. I'm just going to show you this. So here's where you go to create an enterprise class that is available to all of your practices. You no longer have to log in and out of all your practices. You can modify an enterprise class by using the Norton button. So you can go in, you can open a new one, or you can open an existing. The Norton button will allow you to create another class, add members to a class, or print the class. Let's see here. Okay, so that is how you do all of your classes there. Now, if we wanted to do an appointment search ahead, this enhancement will allow you to view and schedule available time slots across practices. So if an available time slot is available at another practice that you're not logged into, the application switches to that practice, and then you can book the appointment. So to do this, we would go to tasks, appointment search, and then enterprise. And so from here, You can be as granular as you need to be by using the enterprise events. Okay, so you can look up by events, resources, service locations. You can use as many or as few of the fields as you wish. When you find an opening that you like, you click on it and the appointment screen pops up. Let's see. So to set the functionality for this, we have to go to admin and preferences, and this will be practice, appointment scheduling, and we would have to have this enable enterprise appointment scheduling box right here checked. Okay, so let's move on to batch posting. This enhancement for batch posting is that we can select or deselect multiple batches to send to BBP. So for example, let's just say I want to select these three here. If you right click on that, you'll see this BBP. You can click that, and now there's a check mark here showing that they've been sent to the BBP. You can also deselect that. And then you can also send them to BBP via the Norton button. Okay, we are going to move on to group appointment and encounters. So I'm going to open up the appointment book. Okay. The main takeaway from this enhancement is that we can schedule someone to a group appointment or encounter without adding this person to the actual group. So what we are going to want to do is click find, and this will, let me see. I'll tell you what, hold on just a second. Go to this. Okay. I'm going to hit find for the group that I'm looking for, and I'm going to go with anger management for teenagers. We're going to look at the members, and I want to add a member to this. And to do that, I'm going to click the Norton button, click add member, and then do a search. And I'll just choose this Gail Zabinski. Okay, so you can see now that she is temporarily in the members group. Give me just a second. Okay, so what I want to do is add this person to an existing group appointment. So there are two today, one at 11, one at 11:30. So we'll just choose the 11 o'clock one and click OK. And you'll get the option to add to patient group and appointment or add to group appointment. And again, the enhancement is to be able to add this person to a group appointment without adding them to the group. So if I just click add to group appointment and click OK, I should be able to see that they were added to this, and there she was. She's added to the appointment. So let's go back and find the group, look at the members, and as you can tell, she is not added as a member. So the main takeaway is the patient has not been added to the group. This is basically so that they can try out the group therapy sessions at first before deciding if that is for them. If they decide that it is, then they can be added to the group. Okay, now we're going to look at case management. So we will want to go to, let me see, admin, preferences, practice, and case management. Okay, case management has now been consolidated into its own tab with all of the relevant practice preferences now in one place. We also have some new required fields, referring provider and payers for this case. So that would be these guys. Those are new. To enable case management, you just need to check the checkbox. When you do, that will open up all of the boxes. That's talking about this checkbox here. That will open up all of these to be selected or deselected. These required fields allow you to set a referring physician as required for a case and to set a payer as required for a case. And this will enable general tab updates, encounter tab preferences updates, case management general updates, and moves payers for this case to a separate section within case management. Okay, so now we're going to talk about EPM faxing. So we are in the appointment book. Let me see, let me view his chart. Yeah, click this. Okay. EPM faxing eliminates the need to print, fax, and shred documents using the traditional on-premise fax machine. You must have a third-party faxing software to be able to use this function. You have an ability now to now fax the patient's image or their insurance card. Let's see here. So we are in the demographics right now, and you can see this patient does have a picture. So you can, let me see. You can go in here and determine, you know, what you need to do with that. You can also acquire, capture, crop, and then here is your print and fax. Okay, let's see, that was the scanning device. Now, if we double click on the patient's insurance, so let's go to, hang on just a second, let me find it. Let's see. We'll just click on this one. Okay, so insurance card. If this patient had an insurance card that was uploaded here, so like right now, I can add a new one since there isn't one, but this is where you would go to fax that insurance card. Okay, let's see. Okay, another thing was clinical history and notes. So we go to click on images. I don't think I have any images for this patient, but if you were in here and we had images, you'd be able to right click and you can either, you know, add a note or quick note, but you can also print or fax or attach to an email any of the images that were there. So you can also, let me find it. Okay, so letters, if we go down to letters, the enhancement here is you can also fax recall a letter from clinical history notes tab by opening the letters and highlighting recalls. So these guys, those are all letters that were recalled. let's see. Okay, so the third option from the left is your fax option when you're in letters. But like I said, that we're also pointing out that you can recall them as well. So at this time, we cannot fax, recall, or appointment reminders from the appointment book yet. That was not in scope for this release, but hopefully that will be coming soon. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is USPS address verification. The USPS has made some changes to the WebTool API requirements. They're now requesting that a password be included when we call their WebTool API. The USPS WebTool API has actually been retired, and so their new API requires a client ID and client secret key to be submitted in the address verification API request. So the information icon lists the necessary steps to register at the USPS. Let me get there for you. So let's go to admin preferences, practice, and external. Okay. So here is where, let me see. The click here hyperlink will take you to the USPS website where you can register. The information icon here gives you more information on how to log in. By clicking the Enable Practice Registration button, you can unlock the USPS client ID and client secret key boxes to fill in. So just by clicking this will unlock those to be populated. The user setup will be as follows. We will want to go back into System Administrator. Give me just a second. Let's see. Go to Enterprise. Hang on just a second here. That. Administrators. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. Okay. And then let's just say this guy. And you would go to your external tab. Okay. So then you would right click in here and click new. And let's see. Hang on just a minute. External system would be USPS. So you would just select that. And this is where you would put in your client ID and your client secret key. Okay. Just leave that open too. So now we're going to discuss ERA remittance. We have a new ERA payer matching option that provides the ability to post ERA transactions based on the exact policy number without claim status from the COB indicator. The new option, select payer using match on exact policy number without claim status, is in the remittance profile. So to configure this, we're going to go back to file maintenance, which is here. Go to libraries if it will let me. It is not wanting to work. Oh, it locked up on me. Can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. For some reason, my computer's locked up. Well, that's not good. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay. So getting back to the ERA remittance, we're wanting to configure this. We're in file maintenance, libraries. Let's look for remittance profiles and default remittance profile. Okay. Okay, so in here there is the drop-down setting, and this is where you can select payer using match on exact policy number without claim status. Okay, so next I want to show you that there is now an ICN, DVN, CCN column in an ERA import report. So let me show you a slide for that. It's actually going to be this slide. Again, this is the column over here that we are looking at. It allows the clients to easily reference the payer control number instead of pulling it from individual payments when posting payments using ERA file, and it is available on the ERA import posting report. All right, so moving on, ERA now allows credit balances. Clients now have the ability to post credit balances accurately for encounter level payments and adjustments. There's also a new distribution method of first in, first out with credit balance in remittance profile library. Let's see here. Let me get out of that. We're in the remittance profile. Okay, so if we scroll down to encounter level payments right here, let's see. Okay, and claim level adjustments. All right. And the options are in your drop downs to your right. So here's where you can choose the apply to remaining line item, the first in, first out, or first in, first out with credit balance. And same thing with claim level adjustments. Okay, so let's go back into PM. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, you can now use the settled up status with ERA. So if we go to, again, admin, preferences, practice, we're going to be looking for transactions. You can select this use settle up status. So this is usually already selected. If the ERA file has CLPO2 segment as a 2 instead of a 1, the transaction will set up to primary automatically. Another enhancement for ERA is that post avoided charge has been disabled. Gosh, we're just hopping everywhere. So that's in file maintenance. Again, we're in libraries. Default remittance profile. Let's see. And we are looking for posting rules. Okay, so in here, you can turn the post avoided charge on in here. As I just kind of demonstrated, you can see that it did not have a check mark at first. If the encounter has no charge, then the ERA transaction will not post. If there is no active charge that matches the original, ERA transaction will not post. Okay, so moving on, there is now a new copay column on an EOB that is created by ERA. So let me show another slide of that real quick. That should be, no, is it this one? Here we are. Had them out of order. So there is an added copay column to the EOB that is created from the ERA file, and there's no configuration for this now. This is just showing that this is what NG6 looks like. Here's what it looks like now in NG8 with your copay column. There's also a new auto balance rules. Let's see here. Not for sure. Oh, no. That's in here, sorry. We will look for auto balance rules right here. We have added a new option, which is prevent auto balancing when ERA is imported with PLB segments. This change excludes ERA with provider level payment and adjustment segments from auto balance, allows only PLB free ERAs to auto balance, and reduces manual checks. Okay, right below that is bundled payment posting rules. So we now have a header specifically for these rules. These options used to be peppered in the remittance profile, but are now in their own section. One more thing to point out about the remittance profile. I want to show under CSC claim level payments adjustments in the CSC tab that we have FIFO credit balances. So if we go to consolidated, is that up top? Oh, sorry, CSC options. Here we are. This is what I'm talking about here is we have the first in, first out with credit balance available in these drop downs for your distribute claim level payments and distribute claim level adjustments. Okay, now we're going to talk about service swap. This is a new library in file maintenance. This library provides the ability to replace a SIM billed to secondary or tertiary based on payer provider program. It also allows insertion of encounter rate SIM COB2 or COB3. You can link the service swap library to your payers that require replacement when billed as secondary or tertiary under the payer practice library subtab. So just for example, if I double click on this BH service swap here, if we right click to open one of these choices, you can see the service swap here. Original SIM is up here. What you want to swap it to is added here. Okay, so still in file maintenance, we're going to talk about master lists. So those are down here. All right. Give me just a second here to go to transaction category and just basically note that we have added these sections in here. Okay, then if we go to, we also have tribal affiliation added in. This list has been updated to comply with US CDI version 3 requirements. Tribal entity HL7 values were added, and also new values that have been added are unhidden by default. So what this means is that day one impact previous hidden items will now be unhidden as well and will need to be rehidden. Okay, there is a preferred pronoun list. This list was also updated to comply with US DCI version 3 requirements. Low-ink answer lists for pronouns were added, and just as in tribal affiliation, new values are unhidden by default. Lastly, show in PM and show in EHR are automatically checked by default. So that's down here. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Medicaid ID requirement. This again is going to be in file management or maintenance. Let's see, system, go to PM, locations. I'm just going to choose Big City Health Department. Okay, practice tab is here. And we want to look at this tab down here. Okay, this is going to allow you to capture medical ID Medicaid ID per location payer program. So if I double click on this, this is where you can document the appropriate information here. You will want to be sure to enter effective and expiration dates, select your payer, choose a specific program if it's program specific. By leaving that field open, that means that we will apply this to every program, then add new Medicare ID. This is a more granular configuration of legacy Medicaid IDs by payer or payer program combination and is replacing group master dependency and simplifying multi-program location setup. On the payer system claims subtab for service facility, let me see, we will select a provider commercial number or G2 and the data element Medicaid ID. Also, secondary references set up on practice tab will override the system tab. Okay. Encounter rate sim default. This specifically has to do with charge rendering and charge location, and it ensures accurate claim data for program-specific billing requirements, and it eliminates manual workarounds or triggers. This also meets BH program billing rules with PPS requiring specific NPIs and secondary references. And we also have disable claim break. So this enhancement gives you the ability to use encounter rendering location except for the ER sim. It also eliminates claim splitting caused by different rendering provider locations across multiple charges while preserving the ER sim's original rendering location data required by payer states in 837. This enhancement benefit clients requiring consolidated claims with supporting services told up under the encounter rendering location. So let's go to, let's see, system, PM, and payers. Let's see here. Okay. Once you're here, you will choose a payer. So again, let's go to, just click on this one. go to the practice tab and then click on the other sub tab. So that's down here. You'll have to click on disable rendering claim break, which is down here. And then and disable location claim break. So those, the enhancements is the use encounter location except for sim. So that's this. Okay. Let's go back to the app launcher. We're going to talk about BBP real quick. Okay, in here we want to look at schedules. And let me see. Okay. So we would double click on one of the items in the window and the schedule properties window now pops up. Notice that there are 3 radial buttons to choose from as far as scheduling when to run the job, either by day, week, or month. The enhancement here is that you can now schedule a job to run on the last day of the month. So you could choose this and then click here, and that will run the job that we selected on the last day of the month. Okay. Let's go to Jobs tab. Open one of these. Let's see here. Hang on just a second here. Hang on just a second. Sorry, bear with me. Oh, okay. When you open up this guy, you'll have these filters basically of how to run the job and what to do. Let's see, upon completion, you have some choices here as well. So this is just showing you your different options in this tab. All right. Lastly, I just have this last slide to show you. These are just some additional enhancements that we couldn't really get squeezed into a presentation. But there is now a marital status required. We've got forms and letters. There's Waystar SSO integration, statement exception report, some things for document management, payer and provider master file reports, search pay by electronic transmitter ID, hide from patient checkbox, person merge other ID, populate patient discharge status from encounter maintenance, and system admin batch patient exclusion. There should be information on all this stuff in some of the packages that have been sent to you from your PM. So if you're unsure, please feel free to reach out to them. And they can also send you the recording for today's training. But that's all I have for you today. I thank you for your patience and bearing with me, and I hope my my dogs weren't too much of a distraction. Hope you all have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.